I'm Dr. Sandra Brown. I'm an ophthalmologist in North Carolina. I have no financial conflicts of interest. I'd like to talk to you today about Diagnosing Scam Pharma Part 2, the astonishing new Regener-Eyes advertisement. And you'll learn why I just can't leave Facebook alone. Recommended viewing, Placentas from Strangers Part 1, where you'll learn about Dompé, who is a real manufacturer who made a real FDA-approved biologic eye drop. Also, Diagnosing Scam Pharma Part 1. Learn how to identify a scam regenerative medicine product by analyzing its advertising. And I want to emphasize that this works for everything, not just biologic eye drops. So if I was going to imagine a memo between Regener-Eyes, LLC, and its marketing firm, it would go something like this. Regener-Eyes would say, "We're selling biologic eye drops to patients with really bad dry eyes, but we have no evidence that our product works. We can't say it works, but we can talk about dry eye and eyes and vision. So how about if you delicately imply that our product does something to the eye?" Okay, maybe that's not a good idea. Just suggest that our product makes you feel good. Overall, nothing specific. Actually, can you avoid words? Let's review the diagnostic signs of scam pharma. And you'll do this by analyzing Facebook photos of their ads. Number 1, the ads show product features rather than product functions. Number 2, there are vague claims of general health benefit. Number 3, there are infomercials in which dry eye is mentioned. Number 4, lifestyle tips, in which the body part is mentioned. In this case, eyes or vision. Number 5, what part of me does this fix? No body part is mentioned at all. Then there are testimonials and smiling happy people. As we go through these advertisements, I want you to look at the advertisement and then look at it again and do your best to ignore the product name and/or the logo, and consider what's left. Number 1, does the ad show or talk about features, not functions? Regener-Eyes advertises itself quite loudly as being all natural and biologic. If you took away the image of the boxes and substituted an image of Smucker's organic creamy peanut butter, the ad would still work. How about smiling happy people? There are tons of advertisements with smiling happy people. Here's a subtype of smiling happy people, the very happy eye doctor. I wish I knew what these guys had for breakfast because I would eat it every day. Here's a combination ad containing number 4, where the body part is mentioned, in this case eyes, but not dry eye. And there's a smiling happy person. Subtype, random, and good looking. Just contemplate this ad for a minute because I have no idea from the advertisement what the product does. I also have to point out that this model is like 13 years old. Here's another combo. This one is a what body part ad, also containing a random good-looking human who's very happy. If we block out Regener-Eyes, then you might take a look at this picture and decide it's an ad for toothpaste. Another combination ad in which the body part is mentioned, philosophically, and a smiling, happy, good-looking human. Block out anything related to the name of the product or the logo, and now it could be an ad for toothpaste, acrylic fingernails, or a really fantastic skin moisturizer. I decided to do a little bit of research on advertising. Not something that comes up very often in my own personal line of work. What I discovered is that companies like Victoria's Secret or Axe, whatever that is, will deliberately use attractive models and create advertisements that don't even feature the product, but are just designed to attract our attention. So I was wondering, does Regener-Eyes and Victoria's Secret use the same graphic design firm? How about testimonials? Personally, this is the type of advertisement I despise the most. I've been told that Carrie Ann Inaba is somebody. I've never heard of her. She seems pretty happy in this advertisement. What does she have to say? Well, notice that she says that Regener-Eyes helps her eye problems, not her dry eye. She says that the eye drop is getting my eyes to feel healthy, not improving dry eye symptoms. I don't know if English is not her first language, or if there was terrible contortion on the part of the marketing firm to avoid any allusion to dry eye whatsoever. But that's a very awkward grammatical construction. Sorry, Carrie Ann, nothing personal. Unless you're taking money from Regener-Eyes, in which case it's very personal. This is an ad for eye care providers informing us that Regener-Eyes is going to be at ASCRS, which is a really huge meeting of refractive surgeons. It happens once a year. They want us to come by and see their line of products because their lawyers told them not to say dry eye drops. I have no idea, except for the vague suggestion of a teardrop, what these products might be. I really had to show this ad as my own infomercial. Better eyes start here. And what I have to tell you is nasty, self-inflicted corneal abrasions start here. If you are a dry eye patient or an individual who is using eye drops even temporarily to treat pink eye, bad allergies, a little mild injury, take these nasty acrylic fingernails off. They are teeming with germs. You're going to stab yourself in the eye with that pointy tip. Ugh, I see them in the office and I just cringe. Let's do a little compare and contrast and talk about big pharma over-the-counter dry eye drop ads. This is a low-margin product line. It does not get a high-dollar advertising campaign. You'll see boring pictures of boxes, models with text across their faces, and weird, unattractive ads where the models don't matter. You will see also the words dry eye with a verb, adverb, or adjective suggesting benefit somewhere in the ad. Let's take a look at Blink, which definitely is winning the attractive packaging contest. And on every box, it says dry eye, dry eye, dry eye, dry eye. Okay, they got a couple for dry contacts. And also relief. Long-lasting, extra long-lasting. So you know what this product does. It gives you relief from your dry eye. How about Refresh? Not winning any dynamic packaging awards. But every one of these advertisements clearly states that the product is to be used to relieve mild to moderate symptoms of eye dryness. Another ad for Sustain, a famous and long-established over-the-counter product line. They've got the text running across the face of the model, so her smiling, happy beauty is not central to the advertisement. And once again, it clearly states dry eye relief. Do you have symptoms of dry eye? This will give you relief from those symptoms. This ad's kind of strange looking, but it does have a model in it. However, you don't need the model to figure out that it's an ad for dry eye drops that give you dry eye relief. So do your own biopsy. Go to the Regener-Eyes Facebook page, click on photos, and count how many advertisements clearly state that Regener-Eyes benefits dry eyes. You'll be able to tell that they had a couple of different waves of advertising campaign based on the design of the ads. You're looking for action words, stops, helps, relieves, improves, reduces, acts, etc. Go ahead. I dare you. And hopefully you're beginning to see what I see or actually don't see. So let's circle back to that title slide and the advertisement that was the background for the title slide. And I really have to ask Regener-Eyes, did you recently hire a new and very ignorant marketing manager? Because these new ads have white text on a light gray background. And you should really know better than that, because you are advertising your product to dry eye patients, many of them with very severe dry eye. And all of the dry eye patients listening to me understand exactly what I mean by this. I think the white on gray means that they're whispering. And what they're whispering is that the product is proven safe and effective in clinical trials. Let's break that down a bit to understand what they're telling us. First of all, what is a clinical trial? A clinical trial is conducted with a carefully selected group of patients who have the same disease. Not just the same disease, but ideally really the same disease. And these patients look very much like each other because you don't want to have a lot of patients who are so different that their other differences separate from the disease affects the results of the trial. Some of these trial subjects received the drug, which is the compound or eye drop that contains the active ingredient. And some receive an identically bottled vehicle, which is the liquid without the active ingredient. And here, of course, I'm talking about a clinical trial of an eye drop. Nobody knows who got what. There are standardized examinations and other testing, a strict schedule for all of this, careful recording of every possible adverse event. And at the end of all of this work, you compare these two groups to determine if the drug is safe and effective. Language we hear constantly, proven safe and effective. This is Regener-Eyes' clinical data. I also contacted the company and I asked them to email me any additional clinical data that supported their statement that their product was safe and effective. And I'll tell you a little something about me. My first 10 years of practice, I was a full-time academic ophthalmologist, which means that I had to do plenty of publishing on my own. I haven't done much since I left academics, but I have a pretty substantial bibliography as part of my curriculum vitae. So I can actually read these studies with a critical eye. And I did read them. And here's my opinion of all of this data. I really just don't need to say any more than that. I really, that's, just imagine me laughing, getting up to get a drink, petting the dog, having some prescription bed rest, and then diving back into creating this PowerPoint. If you want to know about clinical trials, man, that's super easy. My second favorite website now, clinicaltrials.gov. I did a search for Regener-Eyes with the hyphen, which is how the company spells it. Your search found no studies. Modify your search, check for misspelling, or try other words. Okay. Let's try Regener-Eyes with no hyphen. I found one study which is not yet recruiting. It's described as the clinical efficacy of amniotic membrane extract eye drops in dry eye treatment. But hang on a minute. I thought these eye drops came from placenta. I wanted to read a little more about this study, so I went to the study description, where they describe evaluating the clinical efficacy of human amniotic fluid extract eye drops in the treatment of dry eye disease. So I'm like, okay, hold up, guys. Amniotic fluid? First, I thought it was placenta, but secondly, one screenshot ago, you thought it was amniotic membrane. Notice the phase of this trial, which is not actually underway. It's early phase 1. Early phase 1 is purely about safety. Does this stuff melt your corneas or not? We've heard through back channels that UCLA's Institutional Review Board refused to allow this study due to the use of a non-approved drug, to which I say, good for them. And I'd be just a little bit concerned about the precise thinking of this group of investigators. If they don't actually know the biological tissue origin of this magical biologic product. But it's natural. So let's go back to that white on gray ad and use some nice bright red and cross out in clinical trials, because there have been no clinical trials of Regener-Eyes. No, there haven't. We'll fix the ad. Not proven safe and effective in clinical trials. So I really think this is the reason why this ad is whispering, because it's telling a flat-out lie. There are no clinical trials of this product. It has not been proven safe and effective. If you're watching this PowerPoint video, you are smarter than this. Don't believe fake science. Postscript, I thought I'd share with you a conversation Rebecca and I had. Once again, I said, I'm feeling a little twitchy about naming names, and she said, well, why are you worried? I said, lawyers, occupational hazard. She said, well, it's not like Regener-Eyes is FDA approved. That is not their comeback. I thought about it. I said, well, I suppose we could suggest a 4-way Zoom call with Sieber. And she was all for that and suggested that we live stream it. Okay, I kind of guessed what she meant by live streaming, but I do not do social media, like, at all. So I said, am I being too harsh? And she said, no, and we need more content. Eat something and get back to work. So I did. Stay tuned for Diagnosing Scam Pharma Part 3 with mermaids. I hope this presentation has been of assistance to you in understanding how to analyze marketing of all regenerative medicine products. And I also hope it has debunked any statements that are made by Regener-Eyes, Regener-Eyes LLC, or Regenerative Processing Plant about the regulatory status or proven safety or efficacy of Regener-Eyes Professional Strength and Regener-Eyes Light. Thank you for listening.